this. What or who could be the main reason for this loss?
Man, to me, it's pretty obvious. It falls on two people. And the defense played fantastic. We know this. Special teams was pretty good. We know this. It's Jimmy and it's Kyle. Like, that's what it is. It's funny to me, Peter, because when people talk about Kyle Shanahan, you'd swear he's an offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way everybody, it's always how good his play designs are. And it's not his fault that Jimmy can't make these throws, or it's not his fault that Trey got hurt because he had to run him. He had no other choice. And look at these people running wide open all over the field. He's such a good play designer and a good play. Everything is about being an offensive coordinator. And it's like, well, sure. If you're talking about Kyle, the offensive coordinator, then no, he doesn't deserve the blame on those things. But you're talking about Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of this team, and he continues to just get skirted around like, oh, well, it's always something else. It's literally always something else.
Yeah,
it's never Kyle. It can never fall on Kyle's shoulders. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. So 49er fans, for those of you that are watching, let me be clear about this. Kyle Shanahan is not the offensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. He is the head coach. So when you talk about Kyle Shanahan, good or bad, don't just talk about the play calling and play design, because there is so much that goes into being a head coach that he has fallen short on and continues to fall short on that has to be discussed as well. And we can say things like, and these things have happened since last year. Yeah. It's not his. I mean, Jimmy's just so bad, which I agree. Trust me, I see it all. But Jimmy continues to be here because why? Because the head coach, not the offensive coordinator of this team, makes the decision over and over and over to bring him back and be a quarterback on this team. So if Jimmy's as bad as some of us think he is, Kyle did not have the foresight to get rid of him early enough, move on from him, and even when he had the replacement, he still hung on to him. So, Kyle, that's on you too.
Yeah, and the way I look at it is, and I completely agree. I saw your tweet just before we got on a little bit ago, and it was, and I put that it was that's kind of a deep thought, because I think all of us think of him as an offensive coordinator because he really runs the offense. But the more and more this season, this off season, and this season has gone on, and we're only into week 3, but
right.
But I mean, it seems like every week that there is something like hard hitting happening, something big is happening, and you have no choice but to look at Kyle and say, okay, I understand you've got guys, like you said, you got guys wide open all over the place, right? And that's great, but you are the head coach, and the product on the field is a reflection of you. That regardless of if it's Jimmy not performing correctly or missing guys, to me it means that your guys weren't ready to play. And you can't always look at, because everybody didn't have a bad day, but your offense, you are the offensive guy, you're the offensive genius, and so I expect more. I expect points. I expect more than 11 points. And it's frustrating, I think, for the fans because that's the way that you're pitched every single season. Hey, well, we got Kyle. That means we're going to have a good running game. Yep. That means we're going to score points. That's what the way it's pitched to us. And then when it doesn't happen, when we need it to happen, it's not Kyle's fault. It was somebody else. So I 100% agree with you.